Hey there guys, Mr. Emerald here. I want to try making a movie with as little budget as possible. Really get the bad movie team on my side. I've always wanted to make a movie, so hopefully they can help me fulfill my dream. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Jesus Christ, they didn't even have the budget for me. Everybody, meet Dune World, a movie that's so bad, it's actually hilarious. Now, if you haven't heard of Mark Polonio before, then wow, you're one of the 7 billion who haven't. This guy's an absolute beast when it comes to directing films. In the past 10 years, he's directed over 40 films. That doesn't mean they're any good. Some of his most noticeable films include Sharkenstein, BattleBots, Noah's Shark, Jurassic Prey. I think you can tell where this is going. A lot of the films from Mark are ripoffs from other franchises. And Dune World, that's no different. Now before we give the movie a watch, let's stop complaining and take a look at its IMDb page. Yes, it has one. A deep space crew takes a job on a mysterious remote planet. A crash landing strands them on the hostile surface. Soon they find out what creatures live there and the hidden fate of the crew before them. This is just the movie Dune. Apparently this movie has an IMDb rating of only 1.3 out of 10. At least we have that looking forward to it, but I don't know. I think I better have a look at some reviews before I pledge allegiance to Mark Polonio Club. This is a high school production made with lunch money they collected on a Friday before an extended holiday. I mean, he's not wrong. I think I would rather watch Grass Grow than this fan-made loose concept film. Wait, this isn't a spaceship? I love this movie. It's a testament to the human spirit. Mark Polonio keeps cranking these things out and I can't get enough. Keep going. Whoa! I guess someone's got the case of I can't stop watching shitty films-itis. We'd better get this movie underway before we catch the disease ourselves. So, without further ado, here is Dune World.
Beyond the trauma of human failure lies the stillness of cosmic wisdom.
Jesus, I didn't think we were at church already. So, the movie starts with what could be called the Tales of Wisdom for all I know, spoken by a man who looks like he had way too much fun with his makeup. Hi, this is editor Mr. Emerald here. I've decided to add a small counter to the bottom left of the screen to let you know how far we're into the movie. It should pop up every 2 or 3 minutes. I'm only doing this because of how ridiculously slow the movie's plot progression is, so trust me when I say that this is for your own good. We'll see this guy again, don't worry, because once he finishes up, we are greeted to... Oh god, not the plague doctors! After some epilepsy-induced editing, we are greeted to the movie title, accompanied with loads of stock footage. Yeah, you see, with a lot of Mark's films, he doesn't necessarily have the budget to go film on Mars. It sure has the budget for some stock sand footage. I'm sorry, it may be because of my intensive editing background, but this credits roll looks terrible. Like, imagine taking your child to the theater to see this movie, and you see this.
Hey, where are the cheese puffs?
After some more pointless editing, we agreed to what is assumed to be the main characters. Babylon, played by Samantha Coolidge, and Condor, played by Ryan Dalton. Both actors have only appeared in films directed by Mark Polonio, except for Samantha, who was in Boeing, whatever that is.
Maybe it's time to clock out.
Jesus Christ, we had a rocket underneath an airplane taking off! So, after 4 minutes of pretty much nothing, we get to the first act of the movie. Yes, that's right, I'm splitting the movie into 4 acts. Those acts being Act 1, being the discovery of Mars, Act 2, being the green screen hellhole, Act 3, where it all goes downhill, and Act 4, the finale. Before we dive into detail, a big thing I noticed while watching this is that there are a lot of conversations that just lead to nothing. Like, in this first scene, Babylon just talks about marriage?
I just think a marriage is between 2 men and 2 women.
You sound like my grandma's.
What, old and frail? Babylon and Condor discover the planet Caliban, where the movie will take place, but not before being sent into complete overload. So apparently the ship was hit by a wave from the planet, and they decide to go check it out. Babylon gets a nosebleed, catastrophe happens. The team crash lands onto the surface of Caliban under the intense overlay of fog and dust. What the f*** was that? If you're curious, that was Raven, played by Cassandra Hayes, a former captain of the ship, until she died. Then Babylon falls unconscious and has a hallucination.
When people with poor wisdom tread among sleeping tigers, they shall meet with disaster.
What? Apparently a big part of this film is Babylon's hallucinations, where she dreams about events that may or may not happen in the future. I reckon she needs to lay off the Panadol. Robot terrorizes her. It was all a dream. By the way, if you're wondering about this robot, his name is Link, played by A.T. Thomas. He's kinda short, like me. Link locates a station nearby called A119 and reckons that could be the source of the attack. So the team go investigate, but before that...
Everyone okay?
Oh, husbands.
Oh shit, they're multiplying! These husbands are Kit, played by Drew Patrick, and Chafe, played by Houston Baker. From what I'm guessing, every crew member on the ship is called a husband, except for Babylon, who is the captain. After pressing the emergency meeting button, they discuss what they should do about the nearby station, and agree to walk towards it and investigate. Oh, and turns out the spacecraft is pretty much unfixable, so I guess they're stuck now. How sad.
What are you doing?
Starting new mining drones while we're gone. If we get back with a hull full of
Hold on.
dysprosium, we'll
Pause.
be able to...
Are they in the sky? What the f***? I thought they crash landed. I don't even know it's real anymore. Before the team goes out to investigate the station, Babylon needs to tell Kit something. How brave. She tells Kit that while she was knocked out, she saw something, and that she's been having visions for quite a while. Kit responds with, "Go lay down." Meanwhile, Condor and Chafe have a conversation, and Chafe gets his first line.
So this dysprosium stuff's a real deal, huh?
Well, if you mean dysprosium can be used as an energy source for all types of engines. Yeah.
Condor seems skeptical about why Pangea, which I'm guessing is their boss, asks them to go on the mission. To which Chafe goes on a rant on how there's been lots of bad stories about the place and that they've been told not to go, yada yada yada. You know, simple shit.
Everybody ready?
Do we got a choice?
Oh my god, they're going outside. They're not gamers? Now, we've reached Act 2, which I'm gonna call Green Screen Hellhole, and you'll see why. So finally, the team go out and investigate. Oh my god, this is so bad. And here comes the biggest flaw of the movie. Almost half the movie is taking place on a green screen.
Transforming is preceded by robotics for 20 Martian years. Oxygen levels are acceptable.
Oh yeah, this oxygen sure is acceptable, alright? To cover up how the green screen is in this movie, Mark, yeah, he edited the movie as well, decided to put every dust and sand overlay he could find and overlay them on top of each other to make it look good. And it is... So, avoiding the editing for now, the team notices some balls? Even after watching this movie multiple times for this video, I still don't know what these are. Kit calls them mining drones, I call them eyeballs without the eyes. They decide to travel on, and... Oh my god, these graphics look amazing. Chafe notices some trails on the ground and decides to investigate them. Notice they've been using red sand stock footage when the background behind them is clearly yellow. Well, someone's getting fired. Chafe reckons there have been other people who have walked this planet, other than those at Station A119, to which Kit says, "No, what are you, stupid?"
We need to check this out.
That's what guns are for.
Let's go.
They used Nerf Super Soakers for guns. So apparently, Mark was too poor to get props that look more like a gun than a fucking Super Soaker. A fucking Super Soaker! Like Doctor appears, Raven. We get 30 whole seconds of walking across the green screen until they see...
So we're not the first humans on Caliban.
That was supposed to be a skeleton? That looked like someone's art project. Chafe investigates the skeleton and takes a cookie from the skeleton's hand. Well, don't mind if I do. Turns out it's an alarm they left there to surprise those who come next, which just happens to be them. Sorry, that was me. Finally, 22 minutes in, and we get our first real enemy, a penis?
Choke that bastard!
Man, smells sure as hell to kill. Hey Mark, when's lunch? After fighting for a total of like 25 seconds, they decide to leave, and can I just say, this robot does not look happy to be here. Just look at how he walks away from the monster. The happy family of 5 have an argument over whatever the hell that thing was. And, hey, hold on now, we can't have that happen on this channel. Oh my god, I gotta censor that. The team decide to keep on track at station A119, and we get an almost 2-minute interlude of an absolute mindfuck Like, what am I supposed to say about this? After that worryingly long interlude, we seem to have some troubles with the android. Turns out, it was damaged from the attack from the monster. Wow, who could have thought? Since the android is broken, the team can't use him for GPS, so they are considered lost. Suddenly,
Damn it!
looks like it's time for more shooting. Now, with added green screen explosions. For once, the team actually defeats the monster, and they leave. 40 seconds of traveling, and they find a bin lid on the sand.
There's a hatch over there. Help me move it.
Could be anything down there.
That's the hatch? To the base? Well, we're this far in, so we can finally move on to Act 3, where everything goes downhill. The team finally enters the station of A119, and wow, where have we seen this setting before? I wonder if everything Babylon was dreaming about is at this base. You can guess what the answer is. This scene is a full minute of them just walking around literally a corner with what looks like the bottom of a chemical waste factory, just to be greeted with the same stock footage of the plague doctors we've seen almost 5 times now. The team arrives at what looks like the control center for the station, and Condor sums it up perfectly.
Just more junk.
Please just give this guy an Oscar already. Kid leads the team around the place until he stops at a computer of some sort. Or at least that's what I think it is. With a red ring light on his face, he gets it running. And guess who's back? Oh boy, my favorite old guy is here. Yep, this control center scene is almost entirely based around this guy and his fairy tales. Could you believe it? I surely couldn't, and I've watched this movie 3 times more than the average person would. Which is 0! Condor decides to leave. Oh, good choice. To go guard the base. That's fucking boring. The white man reads Noah's Ark and Condor goes outside. Back on the green screen. Wow, do you see that over there in the distance? I can't, I'm blind. Condor comes face to face with a plague doctor. That's what I'm calling it, don't judge me. He tries to shoot it, but gets shocked. I don't know what happens for this next scene, but I've had scientists study this and they don't even know. Here, have a look for yourself. Confused yet? We cut back to Kid, Babylon, and Link, who are still listening to the old man's fairy tales. Oh, by the way, this man is supposed to be the oracle of the story, who's played by Jeff Kirkendall. For someone who's supposed to be an oracle to these people, he's not doing a very good job, especially Final Cut's stock glitch effect interrupting him every 5 seconds.
A lame man is able to tread, but he treads on the tail of a tiger.
Same, bud. After the Book of Changes, Kid and Babylon leave, while Link just kind of sits there. After exploring for a bit, Kid notices a pile of junk, which is literally just pull tubes, a sewing machine, a small CRT monitor, and some wooden bowls. These are all things you could get at a cash converters for like $20 total. We cut back to the Oracle until he is rudely interrupted by Raven. Well, I guess there's nothing better to do than to hear what she has to say.
My husband, my wife. Don't fight the inhabitants.
Probably should have said that earlier. Kid picks up the sewing machine and says it's their ticket back home. How? What are you gonna do? Make a rocket ship out of yarn? The sewing machine starts beeping and, oh no, that thing again! Looks like the monster is attracted to the sewing machine, so it travels down on the ground to attack them. Or at least that's what I could gather.
Turn it off, kid.
And the best acting award goes to... not her! So now we get to what Babylon was seeing all along in her concussion. A chase scene between the monster and her, and let me tell you, it is all but engaging. She makes it to the control center and alerts Link, who is just still standing there for some reason. Turns out he's activating Protocol 9, whatever that is. Oh my god, he's become sentient! I fucking knew that robot was up to something. Babylon gets cornered by Link, until this happens.
Babs, it's me. Babs, it's Kid.
Kid? How?
Oh, it's simple, Babs. I just simply made the giant worm attack myself and put us both in danger so I could become one with the robot. And now, I know everything! In reality, Kid backed up his brainwaves into Link before they left for the mission, so if he died, he could come back to life as Link. How genius. Also, this means that he has no recollection of everything that happened after they arrived on Caliban, so that technically means he has dementia. Babylon spends the next minute or so basically explaining everything that's happened over the past 45 minutes. Yeah, we're 45 minutes in, and Kit finally realizes the chip is fixable for some reason. Really? It took you 45 minutes to realize that? Both Babylon and Kid leave the base to go find Condor, not realizing he was murdered by the Plague Doctors. And here we have the worst green screen scene in the entire movie. You can't even see them. It's like a Where's Waldo book, except that everything is covered in fucking smog. After walking around for a bit, Babylon notices something in the distance. What do you reckon it could be? Is it A, Condor waiting for them, happy to see them again? B, the Plague Doctors? Or C, Mark Polonius himself, dressed up in drag, revealing himself as the final, but it's B. What else would it be? They don't have the budget for anything else. Babylon pulls out a gun, tries to communicate with them, gives up and leaves. The scene was 1 minute long, and it was just so talking. I wish I could do that. More trance happens, and they re-enter the base, in hopes of staying alive. Kid decides to go research who the Plague Doctors really are, and what they really want, but not before being rudely interrupted by Raven again! Babylon thinks she's delusional again, and hurries out of the area. They both arrive back at the control center, and Kit tries to call upon the Oracle again. He succeeds, and the Oracle says something useless. Like always. Babylon asks Kit to change the channel, and... Oh god! Raven? No f***ing way! Kit has a stroke, tries to touch Raven, and gets electrocuted. Damn. So, while Kit cracks up in his chair, Babylon tries to resuscitate him, I guess, but to no avail, and Kit ends up dying in the most absolute corniest way possible.
One day you may know them too.
Uh-oh! Looks like Babylon's been cornered by one of the Plague Doctors. Quick, call 911! Babylon talks to the Plague Doctor, and we finally know who they are. They're the original crew members of the ship! Wow, who could have seen that coming? The Plague Doctor takes off his mask and reveals himself to be... Condor? Wait! This makes no sense! So Condor was brainwashed by the Plague Doctors, and tries to get Babylon to join him, but to no avail, and she just runs off. I bet Condor felt that one. Hey guys, do you remember how at the start of the film we saw that one scene in Babylon's dream? Well, here it is again! Finally, Babylon is cornered by what I'm assuming is the Plague Doctor Master saying only one line. The simulation is over. Oh, and is rudely interrupted by Raven. Again. Babylon decides she has had enough of everything that has happened and decides to shoot herself. How brave. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with 12 minutes of runtime left, it is my pleasure to bring you the worst scene in cinema history. Enjoy.
This is the mining ship Robert, Indiana, from the port of Elysium, Mons, and flying a Martian flag. Calling Moon Caliban.
Oh, by the way, that's not all of it. That goes for another 30 seconds. But guess what, guys?
No!
It was all a simulation! Who could have seen that coming? This is where we enter the final act of the movie. Act 4, the finale. So, turns out the entire space mission to Caliban was a simulation to test if the team could handle the intensity of it. Oh, I've heard that one before. It's called bullshit! Link spends the next 2 minutes explaining to Babylon what happened until we get this beautiful scene.
Husbands!
Just simply amazing. Babylon is reunited with the husbands, and they each talk about their simulations, with Kit and Babylon both dying in theirs, and Chafe surviving his. Could I just say, I almost forgot that Chafe was in this film. He's just mentioned so little throughout this movie that he felt so forgettable. So the team decides they weren't really ready for this mission, and they'll keep looking for others to explore. But now, we get to the plot twist to the movie, literally 2 minutes before the credits.
Where's Condor?
Who's Condor?
Oh, no wonder she was so weird. Babylon has another hallucination over Link, asks is this real, to which Link replies with, I don't know. And then, credits. Oh boy, the credits. These credits, I swear to God, have got to be the worst credits I've ever seen in any film. And I've seen a lot of bad movies, okay? Number one, you do not need to put EDM music in your fucking credits. Secondly, you have the balls to put the default iMovie text for some of your credits. Not all of it because that'd be too much work. Thirdly, you have the audacity to put stock footage that we've already seen in between your credits just to stretch it out to the 70-minute mark. I've seen a lot of bad movies in my heyday, but this is a whole nother level. That's why I give it a 4 out of 10. I know that it's hard to make a movie with such a small cast and crew, and really, props to Mark for making something I can laugh at. But you think he would have mastered this kind of filmmaking, I don't know, about 20 movies in? Oh, and did you know the entire movie is free to watch on YouTube? Yeah, issue alert! Dune World, I guess, can be seen as an absolute flop, and it's a masterpiece. You know, it's one of those home video-esque kind of movies that somehow made it onto Amazon Prime Video. Jesus Christ, I must accept anything. Mark Polonia is an absolute god when it comes to making these kind of movies, so this may not be the last time we have a look at one of his masterpieces. But you know what? This movie's inspired me to go to space. That's right, I don't care about the consequences of big worm things and plague doctors. All I need is a spacecraft, a team of 4, and the money to do so. Son of a bitch, it's $55 million. Okay, I think my dream of going to space is just a bit too big, so guess I'll have to settle with waste management.